A few months ago, I had a few words with God, which ended up resulting in me getting laid off suddenly from my six-figure corporate career. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. Hi, I'm Sheena, also known as the Joy Kurator, and this channel is dedicated to empowering women over 40 to rediscover joy, success, and excitement in every aspect of your life. This channel, we will together look at all the resources and inspiration and tools to create a life full of joy, excitement, and success because it's never, ever, ever too late to live the life of your dreams. So, if you're ready to embrace change, achieve your dreams, and find new passions, you are in the right place. So, April 27th of 2024, I was in a meeting with my boss and I received a meeting invitation from his boss. And while I was on the phone with him, I said, "Oh, this is interesting. I just got a meeting request to join in this call with five other people." And he looked perplexed. He had absolutely no idea what I was talking about. And at a certain point in time, I think we both knew what was coming down the pipe. You see, for this particular company, they had gotten really, really big during, the P word, right? And because the services were so needed, they were just churning out and receiving revenue like it was nobody's business. When things started to kind of go back and balance out again after that big inflation, they had to start really tightening their purse strings, is what they called it. So, I personally, in my position, I made it through several rounds of reduction in forces. So I definitely saw a lot of leaning of the organization, and I was afraid for many months. It was a fear of mine. I felt like I was being not held captive, but not knowing exactly whether or not you're going to have a job tomorrow after every what I think every quarterly stockholders call or whatever. You just never knew if you were going to make it to see another day. So I was for the most part very scared. Every day, waking up, going to work, and not knowing if this is going to be your last day at work. And then on a Friday, one time I was talking to my previous boss at 9, and then I got a call at 9:30 and said she was no longer with the organization. And that was the first round. Had made it through several rounds prior to. So I think that they're like, okay, you're probably like, well, why didn't you just go ahead and start looking for another job? Prior to this, I was job hopping. Like anything that I, didn't like about an organization or just felt like it wasn't a good match for me, it was not a problem for me to go out and find another higher paying position with a different organization because of the work that I do. It's not the jobs are plentiful, right? And I made it an actual choice when I accepted this position that I said I'm going to stick with it till the end because I need to see when things are going astray and when these organizations are behaving weirdly, can I actually just stay and see on the other side of it? Does things get better? Because, people have tenures at these jobs for like 18, 20 years. I was just talking to a guy yesterday and he retired from the federal government. I think he was there for 15 years. And he said before that, he was there at another job for 18 years. Here I am. I think the longest job I had was maybe like 3 to 4 years. I was there. And then I moved on to other things. So to me, it was definitely something that I kind of wanted to see through because I wanted to see the rainbow or the gold pot at the end of this. It wasn't even a rainbow child. It was more like a walk of terror. But I wanted to see that no, things could be things could get better if you just hold on and continue to do the good work that they so claim that you should do. And so, day after day, week after week, I would just work and I would work from home. So, I'm in the house. It was very convenient. I was able to take my kids to school, be a part of their activities, but I still felt like I was stuck because it's a promise that I made to myself. And it's just scary, right? Starting a new job and not knowing exactly who you're going to go, work for and what the coworkers are going to be, what the work culture is going to be. It's like the better the devil you know than the devil you don't kind of thing. And prior to this, get this, I walked away from a job. I had a job where I was not getting paid fairly. That's a whole nother story. Um, and yeah, I just decided like I didn't want this job anymore. And I walked away and I was unemployed for about 4 months. I was doing like Instacart and DoorDash and all this type of stuff just to kind of make a few dollars here and there. Because, of course, when you walk away from a job, you're not entitled to anybody's unemployment. So I was used to being unemployed, baby. Fast forward to, I guess, it's probably the beginning of 2024, where I really felt in my heart of hearts that I wasn't living to the full potential and I wasn't living to what was the highest and greatest good for me. I was very, um, what's the word? I was unhappy. I was unfulfilled. I felt stagnant. I felt just like my anxiety was inching up every day. I got back to that Sunday scaries that I hate when Monday comes around because you just don't know what's going on. And I enjoyed working with my new boss. However, the client that I worked for was not very nice. I had calls sometimes where one of the client representatives would be on the phone yelling at us for something that really wasn't even our fault. But again, I just came aboard and I was just walking into this and I'm like, this is crazy. The heck is going on? Needless to say, corporate America was very interesting for me. So I realized, I'm not living up to my fullest potential. I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel satisfied. There's more to life than this, just this. It has to be. There's no way people can work under these conditions for 18 and 20 years and then retire from this. There's got to be more. So I sat down and I had a conversation with God. And you know, when I say what I'm about to tell you, you know that you can't say these things and expect for things to stay the same. You cannot ask for these things and expect for things to be the same. So, a little disclaimer here. If you for one day resonate with what it is that I'm saying and decide to have these type of conversations with God, you have better hold on to your seats and be okay with whatever happens because some stuff is going to get shifted and rearranged in ways that you wouldn't even have thought possible. Okay, so the conversation that I had with God, because I was feeling these this way every day, and I would do my normal stuff that I do as a Joy Curator every day, live in the moment. I had a morning, I didn't call it routine, but I had a way of waking up and preparing myself for the day. I sought the pleasure and every single thing that I could possibly find in a day, or even just sitting and driving. I like that tree. That's a pretty car. Ooh, another yellow, or not yellow. Cardinals are not yellow. Another red cardinal. Just really savoring and enjoying the moment. I was doing those things, and that's partially one of the reasons why I was able to create a life up to that point that I thought that I wanted, right? Mm. Still wasn't working. Still unhappy. Still not going anywhere. So I said, God, hey, so whatever it is that is preventing me from living my highest and greatest good and living aligned with what it is my purpose is here on this earth. I ask that you remove it with love, but I ask that you get it gone. Okay. Prior to that, and these are conversations that I often have with God, but not in this particular way because I know how I am mentally and kind of where my I guess where I am mentally, right? Just lost my dad in June of 2023. So around that time of being in grief, I really didn't feel confident to have those type of conversations with God because I knew he's going to shake some stuff up and I didn't know if that's something that I could handle at that time. Okay. I was going through it. I had a little bit of a issue with changes and just wanting things just to please just be very peaceful, very, very peaceful. And there was, it got to a point where I was like, is this boredom? And it was like, no, the girl, this is peace. I said, okay, I don't know. I'm used to chaos the whole time, but it then got quiet. And I said, okay, this is peace. So thank you. I was rested in that. I felt good in that, but I also felt like there was more. So I said, whatever you have in store for me, that's what I want. That's why I'm here. So whatever's not aligned, I ask that you remove it. With love, remove it. Again, prior to that, my conversations were What is the problem? I was asking for my past to be made clear with least resistance, with ease. I was a soft girl era. I didn't want no problems. Just keep letting things be okay and just let me have a soft girl moment. Okay, so I was in my soft girl moment, things with ease. I couldn't have no like a bunch of changes and eruptions. I was very fragile. So by the time I kind of felt like I was rested enough and more solid in who I was and where I was and what was happening in my life and ready for the change, that's where I was just like, all right, God, like let's have this conversation. And when you say God, remove things that are not aligned, the things that you think that aren't aligned, it, it may or may not go, but there's definitely going to be some things that you wasn't expecting that's going to go ahead on and move out the way. And for me, after a few weeks after having those words with God, for me, that was my position. So I get the call and I am on a Teams meeting. We did not have the ability to share our screen, turn on our mics. They said the same script that everybody says, every organization, this is a difficult decision, blah, 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 blah. And your severance information will be emailed to you. Thank you, but today will be your last day at work. I want to say I was devastated, but I wasn't. And that's the part where I'm like, am I crazy? Like, how am I not devastated right now? I have a mortgage. I have two kids that I have to take care of. I have things going on in my life. This was a lot of money. Like to me, for myself, I don't have like anybody else helping me. I don't have a husband. I'm not married. It's just me. So what am I supposed to do now? In that moment, I did not freak out. I had a overwhelming sense of joy and light. I felt like this huge weight just lifted off of me. I felt so free. And I exhaled. When they said that, I closed my computer and I just did a moment of gratitude. I closed my eyes and I almost kind of like gave it like, a little job funeral service. I thanked it for everything it provided me. I thank you for everything giving me this house. I thank you for providing a roof over my head, running water, clothes on my children's back. They want for nothing. They're in every activity that they possibly can be. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not upset with you. It's time to move on. So, job, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. Bye bye. And when I tell you, um, those next few weeks, this was in October. It is now, as I'm recording this, August. And no, this was in April. And now we're now in August. Okay. And when I tell you, I have been filled with peace, joy, and excitement since being laid off. And when I say that, I sound kind of crazy. I've had heated conversations with friends and family members about just corporate America and how to get back into it. And something's telling me, God is telling me, I don't think this is for you. I didn't tell you that corporate America is the way that you're going to be able to, or the way that I want you to provide for your children. It may not be. At the end of the day, money is a currency. And the only thing you need to provide it to for it to come to you is a vehicle. And a 9 to 5 for me was a vehicle for me to receive that money. So my message to myself is I just need to create another vehicle for me to receive that currency, right? And so I think that when we have these abrupt changes, when we have these moments in our life that kind of rock us to the core, that we go into fight or flight mode. We are scared. We are scared to pieces. And sometimes we're scared to a point where a lot of us we're not even functional. Um, and I would be remiss if I say that I'm not scared. There's moments where I am petrified. There's moments where I wake up in the middle of the night like, hey, yo, you ain't got no job. What are you about to do? Time is ticking away. I don't know. All I know is that when God removed that job for me, it is now above me. It is above me. All my responsibility is at this time is to be coherent enough to understand what's next, to be disciplined enough to bring in and manifest my next chapter that's aligned with my highest and greatest good. That's the responsibility. That's the job. And is it easy? Absolutely not, because you want to freak out every day. If you pay attention to the material stuff and the things that you see in front of you, the stuff that you read on Reddit, the things that people are telling you about their sister and how long they've been out of a job and everything that's happened to them, sometimes when it's when God when this must be, but when God is moving in your life, it may feel like chaos to you because you can't see it from the level that God sees it. Okay, you can't see it, you can't understand the different moving parts that are happening for your benefit, for your good. And if we can just rest in that and have that connection with source, with God, with the universe, that's what anchors me, and that's what keeps me in a joyful state. So, yeah, the 9 to 5 is gone. And I've met a many of women who are going through the same thing that I am. However, they are retired from corporate America. They did the work. You know what I mean? They found the way to live the life of their dreams, eliminate all the fluff of what it is that we think that we want, that a lot of people tell us that may be really nice to have, but we don't have to have it in order for me to be happy and at peace. So embracing change and being open to new possibilities is kind of where I am right now. And as the Joy Curator, I am doing a lot of great things that I'm really actually pretty excited about. Once you lose your job, you're kind of just like, well, you get a boldness about you. You're like, well, let me take this opportunity to do the things that I want to do. In conversations with many different women, I created a concept, and the idea is a mental health day, which I've called Blissnik. So I'm taking my pain and I'm turning it to purpose. This time that I have right now, if I didn't have this time, I would have never been able to talk with sponsors, get, in-kind donations, come up with a concept, create pitch decks, create, Eventbrite pages and one pagers and all these different things just that I've never done before. I now see that if I had a job, I would not be doing any of this because I would have been so focused on the job or just mentally at a point where I want there to be, when I have my testimony, I want people to be able to say, yep, I remember when Sheena sat down and she said that she was going through do this and this happened and that happened, and I was right there to see it all. And I want to take you guys with me. So if you made it this far in the video, do me a favor and do me a favor and like and subscribe. Hit the little ringer bell so every time that I post, I'm hoping to post once a week, you get the notification. So that is where we are with the layoff. Thank you guys. I pray that you have a great day. Bye.